This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, getting you ready for today's sports day.
3 of the first 4 games have been at home, so at some point in time you're going to have to venture outside the 806, so that'll start this week.
While having a little fun along the way.
Always good if you can blame it on somebody else, right?
Yeah, sure.
Especially some media guy.
Sure. Right, some media guy.
Catch the show live weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Eric on Wheels reports this, Jamie. You may have known this. I don't know if you have a calendar countdown starting yet, but 99 days until college baseball.
Nice. I did not know that.
Okay. Maybe get you one of those countdown deals.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we can get you a countdown clock that starts with days and hours and minutes and seconds. Think Coach Tadlock's got one of those in his office?
I don't know. I'm going to guess no.
Okay.
He's always going to tell you, man, we need more time to get ready.
I always feel like when I see those things, I feel like that I get sped up. Even like if it said like 99 days and hours, seconds, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I feel like I would be like become anxious. Like it would be sped up to the point where it would almost be like I'd be in a frenzy.
Okay.
That's like
it would put pressure on you a little bit.
Yeah, right.
You'd be feeling it.
Yeah, I'd be feeling it. I mean, as opposed to, okay, let's go about this methodically, and kind of eat the elephant one bite at a time. I'd try to eat the whole elephant. Right then and there.
That'd be bad.
That'd be bad.
Mm-hmm. I gave you a tummy ache.
Mike reports that Pico is still playing. He's playing for the Ravens. Oh, I'm glad to know that. So he's still cashing checks. Damata Pico. I just had never heard of the guy. So, doesn't make him a bad person or anything like that, and just
doesn't make you a bad person.
No, no, just.
Do you think his friends call him DeGaio ever?
I don't know. That's probably that could have. No surprise in the college football rankings, right? I mean, no. You have Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3, TCU 4. So no real surprise there. Tennessee is 5th at 8-1, Georgia 6th at 8-1, LSU 7-2 ahead of USC. Alabama's 7-2. Clemson is now 8-1. Well, they went from 4 to 10, Jamie. That shows you what the College Football Playoff Committee thought of them.
Yeah,
they were just like right there, and then lost, and then boom. Ole Miss is 11, and then UCLA is 12. And then after that, it goes on down the line. I saw another article last night or yesterday at some point in time that basically the thought is at this point in time, so we're here, this is week 10 of the college football season, only 11 schools still have a legitimate shot to make the college football playoff. 11.
That doesn't seem like an only to me. I mean, this deep into the season?
I think that's
a still.
A still? Okay. You think
11 teams still have a chance.
Okay. Do you think that's a big number, a good number?
I think it's a good number.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what else would you expect? I mean, are we halfway through the NFL season? No. You think there's 11 teams that have a chance to make the Super Bowl? No. I mean, almost all of them technically still do, but do they really?
Right.
No.
Right. So it'd
be hard to look at it and go, oh, only 11, man, they're doing it all wrong. No, I mean, you're 3 weeks from the regular season being over.
Okay.
That 11 seems like a good number to me. Do you disagree, Jeff? Does that?
No, I don't disagree at all. Like, you could even push it back a little further even than 11.
But honestly, I don't know that there are 11 teams that really have a chance. I guess they do.
Let me give you some of the teams. UCLA is at 11. USC is at 10. Alabama's at 9. Alabama, I mean, they would, at this point in time, I would think, have to win out, right? I mean, you're not going to have 3 losses and be in the college football playoff.
Yeah,
correct.
I mean, but again, Alabama's lost 2 games against really good teams on the road. I mean, are they good enough to win out? Sure they are.
Yeah. They're not. LSU is 8. They too probably would have to win out. Their probability is, according to ESPN, 5.8%. Oregon, haven't really heard very much about Oregon this year, but
they got thumped the beginning of the year, and then they've just done everything right since then.
They're 8-1. TCU, obviously, they're in the top 4 right now. They're in the catbird seat. They still list Clemson as a shot? I don't think so. Tennessee.
Well, obviously, it would take,
Herculean effort.
Well, teams collapsing in front of them.
Do you think two Big Ten teams could make it? Like, do you think Michigan has to beat Ohio State in order to retain a top 4 spot?
And then Ohio State still stays in? I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible depending on what, teams like Tennessee and TCU and those teams that are right outside the top 4, what they do. Mm-hmm. That, one close loss for either one of those schools, right? Mm-hmm. If Michigan and Ohio State played to a 1-point game, and, are you telling that one team that lost by 1, you don't deserve to be in the conversation anymore against the number 2 or number 3 team in the country you lost by 1? Yeah, I'm telling you, I think they still seem to be worthy.
Yeah.
So, again, and that would depend on what TCU and Tennessee and Oregon, those teams that are right on the outside there, what they do.
Yeah. But it would just be interesting if you had 2 Big Ten and 2 SEC schools that made it. That seems unlikely to me. Made the Final 4.
It's possible, but yes, I agree with you. I think it's unlikely.
Seems unlikely.
It's more likely that just one of them would get 2 in.
Yeah, right. And it almost seems like there's, I don't know why, maybe it's just recency bias. It seems to me like the SEC would be more likely to get 2 in than the Big Ten.
Sure.
Than the Big Ten would.
The heck, you got 3 teams from the Pac-12 that are hanging around.
Yeah.
That would upset the college football world.
That really would. That really would. Anyway, just a thought on that. Sounds like the Buffalo Bills are a little wonky at QB right now. I don't get the impression that Josh Allen's going to play this week, although it sounds like they're trying to extend the runway as much as they can. The Bills coach Sean McDermott says, we're still going through it. We're still evaluating it. I'll know more in the next 24 hours. A report on Monday said that Allen could be limited in practice all week long. The injury is called more of an ailment than anything serious. It's a problem with his arm.
Which is kind of necessary for a quarterback.
Yeah, his throwing arm. It's not one of those deals, which one. It's obvious which one. It's his throwing arm, which would be his right. So, yeah. And look, teams have survived.
If it's anything like he played last week, he'd be better taking a few weeks off.
Yeah. Go ahead and get it rested and see if you can kind of milk your way through it. The Bills are 6-2. And look, regardless of what happens over the next couple of weeks, if you got a couple of weeks off and you get him back in week 11, let's say, and I'm not sure where their bye falls in all of this,
If they've already had one.
They've already had one. Okay. Yeah. So, let's say he takes a couple of games off and they split. They're still going to make the playoffs. And a somewhat healthy Josh Allen is better than one that limps into it.
Agreed. It's not ideal, but he's got to be healthy for them to be any good in the postseason. Yeah. Whether you're playing at home or on the road, whether you home field advantage, not all of that, whether you get the first round bye, you got to get him right or you have no shot. Yeah.
6:40 this morning on the morning drive. We'll get this day in sports history next, along with our secret word of the day. That's all coming up. Your chance to win $10,000 a week from Friday, courtesy of Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone, where they make your house a home. You listen for the secret word, go to double T 97.3.com, enter it in, and then you sit by your computer and wait. anxiously for an email from Jamie Lynn. Right?
Won't happen till Monday.
You're listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
A little bit later on tonight, we'll have the Astros and the Diamondbacks. That'll be at 8. And then the Rangers playing at Seattle tonight.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
Was it pretty big?
Yeah, I mean,
Was it impressive?
Yeah.
Was it fascinating?
It was. I thought it was fascinating. It kind of smelled, but I mean.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Check the old calendar this morning, and it says November the 9th, 2022. Here is Jeff McGuire with This Day in Sports History. We'll see if November 9 was better than November 8, which was a lackluster day in sports history.
But you presented it well, Jeff.
Yes.
I tried.
Yes. It wasn't This Day in Sports History was bad. It was that day. Yeah, the history of that day.
And let's be fair, you've got limited NFL action because they only play one day a week. So you're trying to catch a random day where there's a good NFL game.
Mm-hmm.
College basketball season has started.
But generally hadn't started.
Has anybody played anybody yet? Not really. So you don't have any like big college basketball. Olympics are over at this point. Baseball season is over at this point. It's kind of the...
Bet you the folks in Norman are saying they've played somebody good yet.
Yeah, I bet you so too.
Yeah. Maybe the Frog fans are saying Pine Bluff is a future Final Four team.
Well, it's another similar day to what yesterday was. But 1953, Supreme Court rules Major League Baseball's exempt from the antitrust laws.
Oh, we had the NFL exempt yesterday.
I imagine in the next couple of days we'll have the NBA has been labeled as exempt
National
from the
Ping
antitrust.
Pong League as well.
Right. Oh, okay, the Ping Pong League.
1965, Willie Mays is named the NL MVP.
By the way, there's a ping pong table in the front lobby over at football, and it looks so...
Don't do it.
I know. It's tantalizing. It's teasing me. It just makes me want to pick up a paddle and play somebody. Okay.
Good luck.
I know. It's just, you know how when it's right there, it's kind of like the beach is right there. You just kind of feel like, I wonder if I could play a game with somebody.
Mm-hmm. You should ask Coach McGuire if he's doing anything. He's got any free time?
Funny guy.
Like maybe you guys could play for your gold jacket.
Blue.
Gold and blue.
Yeah, my blue jacket. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chuck Hines, nice to meet you.
I need that jacket.
Oh, you like it?
It looks good, man.
Yeah. Here's my business card. You can have that.
All right. Thank you, man.
Let me know how I can help.
I will.
That was a year ago yesterday. And ironically, and I didn't plan it this way, but I wore that jacket yesterday.
Oh, wow. Speaking of that moment, I'm sorry to hijack, Jeff. David Collier was the one who videotaped that, our favorite TV superstar.
Mm-hmm.
David Collier was at the Friendship girls basketball game last night, as was I, and Christopher Sneed was reffing the game.
Oh, my God.
And Mr. Collier started a group chat with the three of us. So Chris got back to the locker room to about a 35, 40 text exchange with criticism of his officiating.
With his sourness will be here at noon today.
At one point, the ball got stuck between the rim and the backboard, which you don't see very often, and we were puzzled why Sneed just didn't jump up there and tip it out.
Oh, yeah.
It took him 3 tosses of a basketball to get it down. And at that point, we were jeering him.
It's going to be a fun bottom line today. Can't wait. 1982, Brewers' Robin Yount wins the AL MVP unanimously.
He had a great year that year.
Also in 82, Sugar Ray Leonard retires for the first time.
Okay.
He'd have a couple more. 1991, Houston's Roman Anderson is the first NCAA kicker to kick 400 points. That's a lot. And in 1996, Evander Holyfield upsets Mike Tyson in the 11th round with a knockout in Las Vegas to regain the WBA heavyweight boxing title. He is the second boxer after Muhammad Ali to win a heavyweight title 3 different times.
This before or after the year? I think this is after.
Well, the year was a TKO.
Okay.
No, it was a disqualification. So this was a knockout. So this was before the year.
Okay.
It is National Greek Yogurt Day.
Completely out.
I'm not a yogurt guy.
The smell of it just turns my stomach.
I'm just not a
It's
fan
a
of yogurt.
It's a texture thing for me.
Yeah, both of those
The
things.
smell doesn't bother me, but the texture does. So. Yeah.
I never get to the texture because the smell bothers me so much.
I wish I did, because I feel like it's decently healthy and all that good stuff, and I just can't get myself to do it.
Happy birthday to Eric Dane, who's 50, Chris Jericho, 52. Nick and Vanessa Lachey, both celebrating birthdays today. Nick is 49, Vanessa is 42. Adam Dunn is 43. Owen Daniels is 40. And Lou Ferrigno is 71.
The Hulk.
The Hulk.
Very
He's
good,
only
gentlemen.
71?
Only 71.
Seems like he should be older than that.
Well, he was at peak physical condition, and he's not in bad shape either. Let's make
Right.
this clear. But he was at peak physical condition back in the 70s. So
I know, but
I'm guessing he was relatively young then.
probably so, yeah. That makes sense.
So don't make him angry today on his birthday. I'm just... Today of all days, don't make him angry on his birthday. And as much fun as we have had through the course of this, 1938, not a good day. In an event that would foreshadow what would become the Holocaust, German Nazis launch a campaign of terror against the Jewish people and their homes and businesses in Germany and Austria. The violence, which continued throughout November 10th and was later dubbed Kreuznach, or Night of the Broken Glass, after the countless smashed windows of Jewish-owned establishments left approximately 100 Jews dead, 7,500 Jewish businesses damaged, and hundreds of synagogues, homes, schools, and graveyards vandalized. And that is this day in sports history.
All right, time for our secret word. If you're tired of contests that you can't win, hey, here's one that we think that you can win. All you have to do is take the little secret word, go to doublet973.com, enter it in, and then wait for Jamie's email on Monday that says you are qualified to be there a week from Friday when we give away $10,000 to someone, okay? And it might as well be you, right? Your secret word at 6:53 on this 9th day of November, year of our Lord 2022, is Huskies. Huskies, like as in the Connecticut Huskies. Huskies. We're not going to make you spell Connecticut, but Huskies. Or Washington, the Washington Huskies, right?
I think it's Washington. I think we're cruising through the Pac-12 right now, aren't we?
Kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Huskies. Huskies. All right, so Double T 97.3 in the home zone, proud to award somebody $10,000 in real money. Not monopoly money, real money. Give you a check. It will work. You can go put it in your bank and then spend it all you want.
Nice.
From Double T 97.3 in the home zone, where they make your house a home. Yesterday, you asked for something to occur on November the 8th so that we could have something in the future on November the 8th.
Yes.
Okay, so next year, November the 8th, 2023, you will report to us this, that the Georgetown Hoyas, whom will be in Lubbock later on this year, won a 99-89 overtime win over Coppin State. Patrick Ewing's squad had not won a game in 328 days. Okay? It snaps a 21-game losing streak. How about that?
It's a bad stretch.
It's a bad stretch, yes. All right, so there you go. That was that's a little nugget there for this day in sports history. Just before 7 this morning on the morning drive, take your thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com or the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank.
getting your sports day started the right way. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, breaking down the biggest games.
If Texas Tech does not win the Big 12 football conference, who are you rooting for to win the conference if Tech does not win it this year?
Well, busting some chops along the way.
I hold back on sending you stuff. I mean, I'm very, very, very judicious.
We spend 3 hours a day, 5
Right.
days a week
I know.
together. Why would
Yeah.
we need to communicate during the weekends?
Right.
Save it for the show.
We do. We save it for the show.
Tune into the Morning Drive live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Hines. We take you till 9 this morning. Then, if you so choose, you can stay here with Dan Patrick at 9 o'clock or shift to 100.7 The Score and continued entertainment from Jeff Haxton and Choice Woodman. At high noon, it's The Bottom Line with Mr. Clint Scott and Chris Sneed. Then Jamie takes over at 1 o'clock with Mr. Scott. He's got all these little nicknames for you guys. Captain Sneederoo and a little crouton for you, and he's got a variety of kind of tricks in his bag, doesn't he?
He's a nickname guy. That's for certain.
He's a nickname.
And he comes up with them on the fly. He's pretty
fly.
good at that.
Pretty talented, actually. Very talented. So look forward to hearing from Clint later on today.
But only little crouton has stuck. He changes through the others so fast that they don't ever get a chance to stick.
Yeah. Well, he's just throwing it against the wall to see if anything sticks there.
So is he good at nicknames, or just come up with a bunch of them?
I don't know. I think he's good at them. We'll have the high school fan zone tonight at 7. Coaches from Friendship and Lubbock Cooper. Boy, the pressure will be on those two coaches this week as they have playoff games, and it's good pressure. It's the kind of pressure you want if you're a head coach of anything, because you're in the playoffs, you're in postseason, and you get to do the extra preparations. And I think. It's like everybody, and I think everybody is on heightened awareness. It's like the cheerleaders, the signs are done extra crisply, okay? You get fresh paint, okay? Make sure the lockers are decorated with the proper amount of M&Ms or whatever it is that each particular player likes. The band is tuned up, ready to go, polishing their horns, sharpening up the fight song, all those things. Everybody's even the laundry is done so that the uniforms are extra bright. Okay, everything is top drawer, right?
Okay.
So we'll have coaches on from Lubbock Cooper and Friendship tonight, starting with Friendship at 7. The Lubbock Cooper Pirates take on El Paso Bel Air at the Pirates Place. That'll be a 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock kick, and then for Friendship, it's a 5 o'clock airtime and a 5:30 kick from Tiger Stadium as they take on El Paso Eastlake. All right. So look forward to that, and of course
So it's a Hate El Paso week here in Lubbock.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's a Hate El Paso week.
Sneederoo.
Oh, Captain Sneederoo. But I don't know if Hanks is in it or not. But
they're not in one of those games, so
they're not one of those.
They
games.
may be rivals of Hanks.
Right,
So Sneed may be pulling for the Lubbock schools too.
Yeah, he'll pull for Lubbock Cooper, and probably Friendship. I don't know. So anyway, we'll have Optimum Game Day Live Saturday morning at 7. It's presented by United Supermarkets as we get you ready for Tech and KU on Saturday. The kick is at 6 from Jones Stadium.
Can I read this chat off the Yates
Sure.
Flooring Center chat line to you that just makes me sad? Said, how about we put on red and black and go to the game and be rowdy and loud for the team, and that will fire up players more than tricked out stadium colors. These are comments that you hear when your team's losing.
Oh, yeah.
And these are, the football team and the decision to stripe a stadium or promote which color to wear, red or black, they're completely separate. They have nothing to do with each other. And it doesn't affect, the fan base and the marketing department and whatever, ticket office, and sports information folks. They don't affect whether the football team wins or loses. But anything, when you're frustrated as a fan, when you're disappointed as a fan, you're out on everything. Just
Yeah,
like, I don't want to hear the talk. I don't want to hear gimmicks. I don't want to hear tricked out state.
Just win, baby.
Just win. That's really what it's all about. And it's just sad to me that, I mean, we were living in this this world of everything was rosy in the off season, right? And everything is great, and this
Not
is
quite so rosy right
yeah.
now.
And I think there are so many Red Raider fans right now that are fed up, and again,
I
like
don't know about fed up.
I think they're fed up with certain things. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think. I mean, those
Frustrated.
frustrated.
Yeah, frustrated.
Yeah, fed up with certain things. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
And I just think that
Fed up with going on first down, fourth down, going forward.
no, you can go on first down. That's good.
I'm at fourth. I'm at fourth.
We should go on first. Don't punt or kick a field goal. Apparently, we've done second and third in Fort Worth now. Why not a first?
Well, according to some, but it really was fourth down.
I'm okay kicking it on the first down
I'm
if
not
it's the
blaming that
last
on the
3
coaching
seconds of the
staff.
game to win it. That's
Yeah.
you can kick it then. You don't have to try to go for it there.
Yeah, that was not on the coaching staff. So I don't know. It just makes me sad because we were all so happy and joyous, and everybody
Giddy.
said it, and everybody said, "Hey, I know it's the first year, and I'm not gonna." I'm not going to lose my mind over a 5-7 season or a 6-6 season. We're going to take steps in the right direction. He's clearly recruiting really, really well, and the future is going to be bright. And there are folks that are not feeling that right now.
Yeah. All right. Here is Coach Joey McGuire. I'm going to do this one first. They're not changing what they're doing during the games. They're keeping basically the message the same.
I'm one of these guys, like, I really try to stick to, like, the messages that we believe in, and really not, because you can have a different message every single week, and then you've got a bunch of players going, okay, well, what's the message? Like, are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? But it is one thing, in the fourth quarter, Don brought it up last week, and it was a great point after the game of how we've played in the fourth quarter against Oklahoma State and K-State, TCU, and Baylor. And so definitely it's something that we talked about it yesterday. It's something that we talk about in our position meetings, in the team meeting, and unit meetings, and throughout practice, especially what you do whenever you start talking about the fourth quarter is you try to find something at the end of practice to really address, when they are tired at the end of practice and they're in those situations of, sudden change. And it's something that we'll do this week to try to prep and get ready for the fourth quarter, because this game's going to come down to that too. I mean, they're a good football team. They played well on the road, went into a tough place in West Virginia. West Virginia is a tough place to play on the road and beat West Virginia. And so, it'll be a fourth quarter game.
It's a fourth quarter game. I mean, obviously you have to play all four, but you need to finish strong.
That's the problem. You haven't won enough of those, right? I mean, you did early on in the season with Houston and Texas, win some of those. But it's been a while since we've taken one of those 50-50 games.
Yeah. This from the Yates Learning Center chat line. It'd be nice to have some immediate success. We're always waiting. The cake is a burnt fossil now. Burnt fossil. I'm going to disagree with Jamie. I speak with fellow Tech fans every day, and I don't sense a group of fed up fans at all.
I have the large majority of my friends are not out. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just saying some are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the large majority of even if they don't agree with everything that Joey McGuire and the coaching staff does, they're not out.
Yeah, no,
I don't think there's a large majority. No. I just think there are some, and that's what I was saying. It's sad that there are some.
It's sad that there are some. I still think there's a lot of excitement.
I think there are more. I mean, there are more that have added to that group, unfortunately, but I don't think the majority is anywhere close to that.
We love the, quote, aggressiveness when it won us a home game against Texas. Yeah. This gentleman assault.
No, not everybody did.
Yeah, Jamie pointed that out.
Not everybody did. I asked Chuck the question, was it sustainable? Was that style of coaching sustainable, of style of play? I continue to say there has to be more than just a book. There has to be a feel. There has to be, like baseball coaches use analytics, but they also go with their gut at times where it's the right decision or not. You just can't go by the book every time. And I don't know. I just think that's something that needs to be considered a little bit more.
Your morning blend of sports.
K-State is coming off a big win over Oklahoma. Of course, the Red Raiders off their 37-34 overtime win over number 22 Texas.
And humor.
Sure to tell them that. You suggested that. And, of course, that got a big laugh.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is presented by Bizarre Solutions. Call them today for a free cybersecurity audit.
Okay, what you got for us?
All right, yesterday I went Red Raider basketball, so I'm going to go back to Red Raider football for today's question of the day. Again, it's a pretty simple one we've gotten to before, but and you can't say the quarterback has to play well, but what's the one player in your mind, if you're going to have a chance on Saturday to win,
make an impact?
Yeah, who's the guy that has to play really, really well?
You know, I'd like to say Tyree Wilson, but I mean everybody's trying to double him up right now, so it kind of takes him out. So it's almost the player that has to step up as a result of that. I'm gonna give you two. Can I give you two players?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I kind of take Tyree Wilson out of this because we just expect him to be good, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like,
sure.
Who's got to step up? Who's got to take it to a different level? I mean, he's already terrific.
I think you got to have, and he left the game with an injury, Tony Bradford.
Okay.
And then I would
he's one of your run stoppers, so that's a key factor in the game.
And then I would say Krishan Merriweather and his ability to tackle.
Okay.
I'm going to give you two, but only because they play the same position. And we're going to go both your starting running backs.
Okay.
If this is going to be a fourth quarter game, those guys need to own it. And they need to own the whole game and really can keep Tech having control of the football. And part of this is also the offensive coordinator calling for these guys to get the ball. But this is not a game, I think, that if it's in a fourth quarter situation, if you're pounding it if you're running the ball and controlling it and keeping Kansas off the field, not saying that they have this prolific offense, but you can't score if you don't have the ball. So let's not give them the ball in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time coming up with a name. I'm just going to go to a position. I don't care who it is. Somebody's got to step up at the wide receiver position. I mean, Miles Price has been an afterthought. I mean, I had a big drop early on in the game last week, and on a ball that you felt like should have been caught. I don't feel like we're getting him involved in routes that really play to his strengths. Obviously your injuries to your couple of your big outside receivers really hurt, and then Cleveland not being there at all because of his injury was a big factor. So whether it's Sparkman or it's Cleveland or it's Price or Xavier White, we've gone away from Xavier White now. I mean, he's not. Yeah. He was really toting the load for us, and now he's gone away. I mean, we got to have a receiver have a big game for us. Because it feels like this is going to be a high-scoring game, and so you guys went defense, and I totally get that, and especially guys that could stop the run as a big factor. I'm sorry, you went running back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I went defense.
Chuck went defense, and I totally get that. Having a really good ground game in this one might help, and I don't know. Are you trying to keep Kansas's offense off the field with kind of shortening the game a little bit? Run game would help that a little bit. It's kind of hard to imagine that you're doing that when you're wanting to play with pace yourself. But I just think you got to get something going in the passing game. Some of these receivers have to step up. I know we've had ups and downs with our quarterbacks. I think that's totally fair. But I just feel like the receivers have been underwhelming this year. And to me, you got to get somebody to step up.
Okay, so
maybe you could say, well, the receivers have been underwhelming because the quarterbacks haven't been great at times. Okay, that's fair to say. Well, maybe you could say, well, the quarterbacks haven't been great at times because the offensive line hadn't given them a lot of protection at times. Oh, okay, that's fair.
I'd also say that
so it's like this.
But your quarterbacks have been underwhelming because your wide receivers have dropped an awful lot of balls this year.
So it's this vicious little circle.
Or they haven't done a good job of getting open. So let me give you a couple of things here to be going back to what you just talked about, the receivers and the opportunity. KU opponents have 124 first downs against the Jayhawks this year, passing-wise. KU has 92. KU from a passing, what they've given up per game, average per game 280 yards per ball game.
Passing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, their defense is not good.
No.
I mean,
15 touchdowns. The other thing is, talking about sustainability, third downs so far this year, while KU is 55 of 105, 52%, opponents are 64 of 137, 47%. So, and then opponents are 14 of 21 on fourth down against KU this year. So there's lots of opportunities. KU has intercepted the ball 11 times this year, and their quarterbacks have only been intercepted 4 times. So keep that in mind too. But KU opponents have attempted 102 more passes than KU has. So there's that as well. They haven't necessarily thrown the ball as much, although they do have 22 passing touchdowns on the season, and their opponents only 15. So I mean, there's times with but you also have to kind of consider where they've kind of look. They piled up some victories early on against Tennessee Tech. They did win at West Virginia, and they did win at Houston 48-30. Beat Duke, beat Iowa State, and then they had 3 straight losses before beating Oklahoma State this past weekend, rather soundly, 37-16. But as we talked about the other day, Oklahoma State started a freshman at quarterback, and he got picked off a couple of times. Mm-hmm. So that certainly helped them get to that lead. And then they had Devin Neal that had one of the all-time big games for them, in terms of receiving and running the ball, both over 200 yards rushing and over 100 yards receiving. So, and going back to what you said about Xavier White, really curious. In the TCU game, he was targeted 6 times. He had 2 receptions for 7 yards.
I guess one of the questions that I would have, and you can help me out in remembering which game was which, but the Texas game, you use the tight ends really, really well, right? Mm-hmm. All 3 were involved. I think 2 of them had touchdowns, if I remember correctly. Maybe just 1. I know Cup did, and Tharp had that great catch near the goal line. It's just, you used them, and then they went away. Okay? It's like, okay, we got something good going here, and then they were gone. And Xavier White had stepped up, and we were like, oh, Miles Price is coming back. Well, it doesn't really matter. Xavier White's killing it.
Sure, right.
He's grabbed onto that spot, and we're just going to roll with Xavier White. Now he's gone away. You'd like to think hey, we found something that's working. Mm-hmm. We're going to continue to use that, and we're going to build on it. But it's like one step forward, one step back with the offense this year. And again, I get it. When your quarterbacks are struggling or when your offensive line is struggling, it affects everything.
It does, yeah.
Okay, and those receivers are 100% affected by that. But you've heard numerous times analysts talk about how there's just not a lot of separation with the receivers. But then, you've also seen games where, like, for example, when Barron was struggling so badly against Baylor, where it looked like there's no separation, and then you actually see the video and you see, there's receivers running wide open all over in the middle of the field that Barron's not seeing. And so, I don't know. It's somebody on the chat line says Kitley has to come up big this week, and I think it's his offense has to get going. There's no way around that. And I'm sure that Coach Kitley would tell you the same thing. Hey, we gotta be better than we were for most of that TCU game.
Tyler says this: forget a player. How about a unit? Speaking about what you've been just speaking about, that O-line needs to play better. Can't get anything done if we don't have the blocking. Red Raider Two Guns. The two running backs run the damn ball. Johanna asks, where have our giant tight ends been? I want to see one of them get the ball and run some defenders over like Jason Morrow used to. Yeah, just how about get him the ball. Somebody else points out Josiah Pierre, because what you talked about earlier, it will affect KU doubling up Tyree Wilson. And so if Josiah has a big game, okay? Yeah, it's a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
And, the biggest thing is, man, could you get through a game with the same quarterback? Because I think we all feel like with the way that game was going Saturday, if Baron Morton doesn't get hurt, you beat TCU. And then TCU is a non-factor in the college football playoff.
I mean, maybe. I don't know that. You're going to sit here and guarantee that, though, right?
No, you can't guarantee anything, but it certainly would have felt pretty good about it based on the game was going.
Your morning dose of coffee and sports. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Nice to have you with us. It is Wednesday. It's the day the work gets done. Football season is slipping away from us. Just 3 games left, but 2 of the 3 are at home as Texas Tech will entertain Kansas on Saturday. Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Hines. Nice to have you with us this morning from the First United Bank Double T 97.3 studio. We are the Morning Drive. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that or the mobile app. Benchmark hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. Somebody asked this question, and I'm assuming it's Sonny Dykes, not Cumbie. Is it fair to say Sonny is a better coach than what Tech administration thought? I don't think it's fair to necessarily compare these two situations. Maybe it is, but I'm not going to sit here and say, well, if Sonny Dykes were here, you'd be 9-0. I think he inherited a better team than what Joey McGuire inherited.
I think on both sides of the ball, just a little bit more complete. I mean, I think a major difference between the two teams is the fact that they have 4 of their 5 starters were returning along the offensive line, and then you bring in a grad transfer that has worked out well for you at or maybe it wasn't a grad transfer, but a transfer from SMU that's worked out really well. And then your quarterback, who didn't even start the year as the quarterback, but quickly took over the spot and is a veteran, has been terrific. I mean, he's played his best season. I think your cupboard was pretty full on the defensive side of the ball here, and I think we've seen that. And that's not to take away anything from Coach DeRuyter, because I think Coach DeRuyter's done a terrific job, and I think I worry about teams coming after him in the offseason, so I'm hoping that...
Hope he's happy here, right?
I hope he's happy here, and I hope that we're able to make him a priority this offseason, because I think he's done a wonderful job. I want to keep that continuity going. But clearly on the offensive side of the ball with the offensive line and all that, you haven't had coming back what TCU has had. And I think Coach Dykes has obviously done a terrific job, a fantastic job, okay? Anytime you make a coaching change, you almost always expect to take a little bit of a step back just from a new regime, a new scheme, new way of doing things, changing the culture, all the above. And they haven't done that. Instead, they've taken it to a new level. And I think Garrett Riley deserves a lot of credit for that with their offensive staff as well. So, kudos to him for doing a great job as well. But, I mean, as I said last week when we were asked the question, is this the luckiest team in the conference or the best team in the conference? I think it's both. I think at this point it's both. I mean, they have had some terrific breaks go their way, including your quarterback that, again, got hurt on Saturday. While I'm not with Chuck, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you're winning that game if Baron Morton's healthy, I feel better about your offense if he was healthy. Yeah. I mean, I think the game was tied. I don't know how you can, we're winning that game if he stays healthy.
Well, I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that it's not a guarantee. I just feel like that you maybe had a better chance. I felt
you definitely had a better chance. There's no question. But again, they also lost their starting receiver, who is probably their most talented player.
And they were able to overcome that.
And they were able to overcome that. But with all the injuries that they have faced at the quarterback position, I mean, it's like, I mean, they are I'm getting every break possible. And again, I think they're the best team in the conference. They find a way. Okay? They've been down. They don't give in. They come back. Defense makes plays when it needs to, like it did against the Red Raiders all day long. And, the special teams helped them out, whatever. It's just you got to give them credit where credit is due. And so I do think they've had lots of breaks and all that, but I think they're a good football team, and they've proven that over and over again. So I still don't think they're going to end up going undefeated. Well, I'm anxious to see how that goes. Mm-hmm. I don't care who's playing them, but I'm definitely rooting against that.
Sure, right.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, Satan himself lines up at quarterback for whoever. Let's go, Satan.
Let's go, Red.
Let's go, Satan. Satan, power. I'm with you. I mean, I don't think if Coach Dykes had come here, we'd be 9-0.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference in the cupboard is clearly different. I mean, how many times have you said before, if you don't have a good offensive line, everything's going to be a struggle?
I feel like we've said that for the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, and that's where we're at. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I think that's going to get changed.
Okay, so, and I do look at TCU, and I think I read somewhere the other day, 31 seniors or whatever. Okay? So clearly he was coming into a veteran team, all that. I think Joey McGuire has proven that he's a better recruiter. We've already seen him do a great job there. So in the short-term success for TCU, Coach Dykes is doing a terrific job and all that. I'm confident in the long-term success of Texas Tech because I think Joey McGuire is going to be able to recruit.
Yeah.
And
better players make better coaches.
Right. First and foremost, man, we got the trenches, both sides of the ball. I mean, we got to add depth there. We got to get better on the offensive line. And yes, you have some talented players on the defensive line, but you need more of them. But you got to get better on the offensive line.
Some of those guys are going to be leaving too pretty soon.
No question.
Have the opportunity to leave. All right, so let me ask you this before I get some stuff from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. TCU's the best. Who's the second best team in the conference? Because you have Texas at 4-2, Baylor at 4-2, K-State at 4-2, then KU at 3-3, Oklahoma State at 3-3, and then all of those teams are 6-3 overall. So of the 4-2 squads, Texas, Baylor, and K-State, which would you say is got the best chance maybe to play TCU in the Big 12 title game?
I think Kansas State's a better football team with Will Howard as their quarterback, so I'm not going to pick them because they're back with Adrian Martinez.
Okay.
And that cost them this past week where they, kicked it around for, I don't know, about 2 quarters before they finally showed up and made it a game. Baylor, of those 3, feels like they may be playing their best football right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Texas, has a lot of potential. I just think Baylor's more consistent.
TCU and Texas play this weekend. They'll play in Austin. It's a 6:30 kick. Texas is 6-3, TCU 9-0. Baylor and K-State play this week. Both those teams are 6-3. So you could settle some of the score this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma State and Iowa State play. Oklahoma State's 6-3 already. Iowa State's trying to get to be bowl eligible. They're 4-5. Don't know the status of Spencer Sanders. And then Oklahoma travels to Morgantown. They're 5-4.
I think that'll be a good game.
You look at this and go, wow, Oklahoma's still trying to get bowl eligible in the 10th week of the season.
We all predicted that.
Yeah.
I think that might be a fun game for the OU and West Virginia. We'll see, though. Maybe West Virginia has just packed it in. Because if they have that home game, you can just pretty much say bye-bye to Neil Brown.
Somebody says, thank you, Jamie. Well said. Somebody else says, isn't UT the equivalent to the Antichrist? That's a question, not a statement. I think it's a statement.
See, I think I've told you guys this many times before. I dislike TCU way more than I dislike Texas or A&M right now.
Okay.
It hasn't always been that way, but it's that way right now.
So what they're saying is, so technically TCU is playing Satan this weekend, in which I will be rooting for Satan on Saturday.
Okay, there you go.
Okay,
All right, well said.
So
well said.
That's
There
the
you
point.
go.
They were backing up your point there.
Okay.
So to root for Satan is to root for Texas this weekend.
You've been listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. For more from Lubbock Sports Station, go to doublet973.com.